Afternoon. How are you all doing? Excuse me. How's everybody? All good? We've got some posts going on in Discord. That's good, isn't it? People are using it. Although some people, mentioning no names, seem to be posting things in the wrong group. Anyway, channels are there for a reason. Try and use them for the reason. Afternoon, Ian, Amy, Mark, Evil, JC Crom, Peter, Day Trader, Julio, Christian, Yusef, Monkey, Pot, Alan Bay, Lucho, Evans, Brian, Gregors. God, it's a long list. Afternoon, it's time. Hello, Fletch. How we doing? So, no news today. So we had a look through what was going on this morning. Wasn't a great deal. Not expecting a lot of movement today, but we'll see. So we had the wage price index for the Aussie this morning. Aussie dollar, not really done a lot. If you look at the ADR dashboard, that gives you an idea of how much stuff's moved. This is the point of ADR dash. It tells you what's moving, what's not. That's it. Nothing's moving today. So there's no movement, obviously, as you can see here on the Australian dollar. Very little going on anywhere today. A little bit of downside against New Zealand. New Zealand dollars had a little bit of a rally into London, but London's undone it. So, yeah, not a lot really going on today. US dollar, very stable. Nothing going on there either, because obviously we've got FOMC later this evening at 7 o'clock. We're waiting for that, but it's unlikely that we'll get anything, I don't think, today out of this that's going to really kick the market in either direction, because the Fed have come out and said they're not changing the rates yet. So there's nothing in those meeting minutes, really, I don't think, that's going to upset us. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. So tomorrow really is where the news kicked off. It's PMI day tomorrow, so we're going to have high volatility news throughout the day. So tomorrow, live rooms tomorrow are 8 a.m. and 2:30. So 8:15 is when PMI kicks off tomorrow, with the euro, with the French, then into the German, then into the pound at 9:30, and then 2:45 is the PMIs for US. So we're going to do an 8 o'clock and a 2:30 tomorrow. So news this morning, US still has a ways to go before a soft landing from Barkin this afternoon. But that's it, really. Not a lot else. It's been very, very, very quiet. Yeah, so again, Fed cutting rates in June rather than May. You know, we've had, this is the thing, US government downgrades its view on the economy for the first time since November 2023. Not really had any impact on the yen. Didn't see that one this morning. That was early. That was while I was streaming, that's why. So overnight there was nothing. No more mention from Japan about intervention. The Australian wage price index, wages went up ever so slightly, but really same. So no news. We've got Bank of England member talking at the moment, which is kicking off now. So we might get something mentioned about the pound. But this Barkin, what Barkin said today, we were originally thinking March for the interest rate drop. Then it got pushed back. They were thinking maybe April. Then we pushed it back to May. Now we're pushing it back to June. Are we going to push it back to July, back to August? Before you know it, we'll be into Q4 before we drop the rates. So this is why the market is like it is at the moment and so erratic in its movement and non-directional, because we just no idea whether we should be buying or selling anything, because we don't know when it's going up or down. So very tricky at the minute. We have got some earnings coming out. Wrong one. So we've got earnings coming out on Nvidia today. That's our only earnings this evening. So these are aftermarket. So we've got Etsy, Lucid is Nvidia. That's the main name, obviously. One of the biggest names in the NASDAQ. So that impact of that will come out tomorrow. So we would expect to have some volatility off the back of this tomorrow, but we might have some volatility at the open this afternoon as well, with people pre-buying on the assumption that Nvidia's stock's going to go up or down, either way. But we might get some volatility in this afternoon as well. So this morning's trades, I cocked up this morning. If you're in the live room this morning, I opened the wrong terminal, didn't get on anything. So if you did get on the DAX this morning, you got hedged. Depending on whether you took the pre-market or the ORB, doesn't matter really, because they both hedged. So there was no downside. Upside target on the DAX, I drew in at the weekly high, so it didn't achieve that. So if I was in this today, I would still be in a hedge. There's not really any reason to get out there, that I suppose. But so yeah, DAX was a bit of a no-go today. You'd be stuck in a hedge if you're in that still. The FTSE, however, didn't stop. Literally, if you took a pre-market, the pre-market range for the SIHEA was too tight today. But if you were using a longer range of, say, the first hour, then you would have got that. If you were using the normal recommended ranges that I use, you would have taken the 5-minute opening range break and you would have got that. So either way, on the FTSE today, you had a massive win. It was at least 3R, if not way more than that, 5, 10R, depending on the range that you took. But that basically came straight down. As you can see, it hit ADR. We bounced at ADR and we've been sitting around ADR ever since. So FTSE was a lovely break today. SIH would have milked that very nicely for you. And US indices, as you can see, not a lot of movement today so far. So ever so slightly down from the open, but nothing exciting. Excuse me. The new Discord channel or server that I've set up. That's clever. It automatically goes into streamer mode when I start streaming. I don't know what streamer mode is, but it does it. In the new Discord channel, we've got a live room stuff channel. If you've got any questions you want answered or any questions that you'd like covered in the live rooms, that's the place to put it. So I might change that to live room. Might change the name of that channel to live room questions. That bit? Yeah, live room questions. And in that channel, put some questions if you've got anything that you want asked, just so that if there's anything I might need to pre-prepare, that we can cover in the live rooms. That's a good place to put it. Going to put there, got any questions? Can't type. Questions. Typing. I'll stop typing. Okay. So yeah, so that's a good channel to use in Discord. I'm starting to like Discord. It's all very organized, isn't it? Right, we'll have a look at FX and everything in a minute. Let me just catch up on the chat. Afternoon, everybody. I haven't said afternoon to. Antonios, can't read that. Looks like Nello, but it's hello in whatever language. Afternoon, Johannes, Champagne, Virginia. I have a question. I don't know if it be a solution for the squeeze. I use the H1M5 mean reversion on the EA. I'm wondering if I remove the yens and Swisses from the VPS because they are the most pairs. Getting a squeeze or a parabolic move and increase the risk after removing the yens and francs. You can do, but why would you remove something that's moving? It's going to make you money. We've had this question before. The there isn't something that squeezes more than something else. Things squeeze and move strongly because there's a reason for them to move strongly. So last year, the two biggest squeezes I had were the pound US dollar and the Aussie New Zealand. Yeah, nothing to do with the yen or the Swiss. They were the biggest problems I had last year. So what should I do? Remove the Aussie and New Zealand from my portfolio because they've squeezed me? Remove the pound and the US from my portfolio because they've squeezed me? Should I now remove the yen from my portfolio because it's squeezing me? What am I left with? Not a lot. If you remove stuff because it's moved, what are you going to do? What are you going to trade? Eventually, you'll have removed everything. You'll never trade anything, will you? Yeah. Everything goes parabolic. Doesn't matter what it is. At some point, it'll go parabolic. Yeah. Let's say you went long on the New Zealand dollar, US dollar there. What are you going to do? Not trade the New Zealand dollar anymore? Can't do that. Stuff moves. But when anything moves and goes parabolic, this is the whole purpose of what we do. Position trading. Yeah. You have no way of knowing or forecasting when something is going to move and how far it's going to move. There is no instrument in any bank, institution, or anybody on the planet that owns something that tells you when something's going to move or how far it's going to go. If there was, we would all be multi-billionaires. We would know what to do, wouldn't we? You can't know that. The banks don't know that. The banks make losses because they are the wrong side of positions. So what you have to do is survive the squeezes. So when you get a parabolic squeeze, your job is to survive it. That's why we use small lot sizing, but we trade multiple instruments so that the ones that work out and go in the bank. The ones that don't, we deal with. But you can't remove something because it doesn't work. If you find that there is something that doesn't work over and over and over again, fine, remove it. But I would say that's not because necessarily that instrument is not compatible with the strategy. It may be that you're just trading it wrong. And if that's the case, just remove it. Then you're not going to trade it wrong and you're going to make more money. But there are instruments out there that aren't suited for position trading, like stock indexes. Stock indexes rally for months, if not quarters at a time. And if you get the wrong side of a stock index rally, you won't get out of it. So you don't trade them. I don't trade gold because gold is very well known for erratic movement. However, I would say over the last 2 years, we've seen less of it since we've locked down 50% of the worldwide stock of gold in Russia because of the Ukraine war. Gold's a lot more stable because there is no erratic buying and selling from Russia. Therefore, the gold price is stable. I have always struggled with gold, so I've removed that from my portfolio. But it's one instrument. If I remove one currency, I'm removing 6. Or so, aren't I? So you can't just get rid of one because it's having a squeeze. You deal with it. You deal with the squeeze. Yeah. If you're in a squeeze, you deal with it. Yeah. I'm in US dollar yen. I'm in drawdown. I'm being squeezed. I'm dealing with it. I'm doing drawdown control. That's the whole point of drawdown control, is to remove the pressure using the profit from other instruments. But if you haven't got those other instruments running, you don't make the profit from them. What are you going to do drawdown control with? Afternoon, Neo. Afternoon, Kennelly. In streamer mode, it hides some private information of your account. On Discord, does it? Oh, right, okay. I don't know. I'm not planning on showing you my Discord in the stream anyway. What's the point? I don't need to show that, so... Anyway, it says I have not permissions to view messages in history in live room. Send messages. You'll have to bear with me while I'm setting things up. Read message history. No, you don't. You're quite right. Don't know why that was set, but now you can. Read message history. I thought I'd set that globally. Should be able to now. The live room question says you don't have permission, etc. Permission to do what? You can view the channel. Oh, you can't send messages. Now you can. That live room one, for some reason, is not set up in the same way. Right, now you can. God, what have I just done? I shouldn't do this. Why am I doing this? I shouldn't do this live on stream, guys. You're making me do stuff now. Now I've fucked everything up. Message me if you can't get access to anything, and I'll put it on a list. Discord live room schedule and useful link, so I'm not able to see or send messages. Nope, you can't send messages in there, no, because they're closed channels. You can see messages, but you can't send them. You can't send messages. Read message history. Oh God, why is it set to bloody? Why is that set to not be able to see messages? That's not how I set it up. Something's buggered. I've buggered something up somewhere. Hold on. I'm changing it. You should be able to now. Read message history. There you go. I just don't want people posting in those ones. They're locked. They should be locked for posting. There you go. I'll have to go through I'll go through it all in a minute after the live stream. Rather than sit here and you watch me do admin, we'll do other stuff. Message me if you can't do anything, and I'll sort it. Right, where was I? Yes, some channels are not allowing permissions. Yeah, let me know which ones. Afternoon, Steve. But these three pairs, which usually move together, US dollar CAD, Euro Swiss, and Aussie New Zealand, made me a loss within the last 8 months. So I decided not to trade them anymore. That's fine. Don't trade them anymore. Up to you what you trade, Amy, if you want to remove them. But bear in mind, you've just removed 3 instruments from your portfolio. Yeah, because they've had a loss in the last 8 months. Right? So in the next 8 months, which 3 are going to lose you money? You're going to remove those? Then the next 8 months, which 3 are you going to remove money? You lose money. You're going to remove those? Now you're 9 pairs down. You've got 28 pairs. So you've removed a third of your opportunity to make money. Yeah. If you're not making money on US dollar CAD, Euro Swiss, and Aussie New Zealand, something's gone wrong. Because I've made a load of money out of those. So something's going wrong somewhere. So you need to look at why you haven't made money. Analyze your trades. Look at your charts. Yeah. Look at all the trades on the charts. Right. Look at every single one. Get your entire account history up. Use the support resistance propulsion indicator to plot the chart, plot the trades, and look at everything. Why haven't you made money? Rather than removing stuff, look at what's gone wrong. Maybe those instruments you might want to increase the distance between trades or reduce the distance between trades. But don't remove stuff. Otherwise, you're going to run out of stuff to trade. What's my thoughts on market profile? It's great for futures. It's no use at all in FX. You can't use it in FX. But it's good for futures. It's just support and resistance. All market profile is support and resistance. Yeah. So on this chart, right, I'll draw you a market profile for this chart. So the market profile on this chart will look something along the lines of that. Yeah. So if you had a market profile indicator on here now, it would be useless. But if you did, that's what your market profile would look like. And all it's doing is showing you the volume at specific areas of the chart. So rather than showing you support, resistance, highs and lows, it's showing you high volume areas where price put in a load of orders and moved away. Put in a load of orders, hasn't moved away yet, but put in a load of orders and moved away. Yeah. So what are these? Areas where the banks have put large orders in. What do you find after a market profile? Yeah. So it's propulsion gaps, but it's the areas before propulsion gaps plotted on your chart. So it's kind of inverse propulsion gap. That's what market profile is. Showing you high volume nodes. High volume nodes just tell you where they were putting a load of volume in. When the market moves away from those high volume nodes and comes back to those high volume nodes, there's a high probability the banks and institutions that made that high volume node break short will add more shorts. Works exactly the same way as a propulsion gap. But propulsion gaps are calculated visually on impulse candles or propulsion candles. Volume profile or market profile works on volume of order. There is no centralized exchange for Forex, so therefore you cannot use volume profile on Forex because most of the transactions are over-the-counter transactions between banks. So they never go through a central exchange, therefore there is no volume recorded. But on the futures market, the Chicago Mercantile Exchange records every futures transaction. So that therefore volume profile works very well, which is why they use them in futures. So yeah, it's great if you trade futures, but I don't. I used to, and I do every now and again. I nip in and out of it, but you need lots of money for it. So lots more money. So I don't use it. I'll have to go through all the channels in Discord and sort them out in a bit after the stream. With the other 25 pairs, I will deal. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, like I said, Amy, I if you want to remove instruments, remove them. Yeah. Aussie New Zealand hurt me badly last year. As I said, yeah, I was long here. I got hurt. I got out. But I haven't stopped trading Aussie New Zealand because of that. Because tomorrow, the pound New Zealand will do that. Or the US dollar CAD will do that. Or the Euro Swiss will do that. In fact, the Euro Swiss has done something like that. It's just fun. You caught the wrong side of a fundamental shift, but you don't understand the fundamental shift has happened until it's too late. Nothing you can do about it. So unless you fully understand fundamentals and you've got a magic ball that can see into the future, removing instruments is just removing opportunity. Aussie New Zealand, I haven't had any trades on the Aussie New Zealand. I used to have one there. There you go. So I've had one trade on it so far this year. It's only given me one opportunity, but it's worked out fine. I'm not going to stop trading it just because it stung me. Everything stings you at some point. Everything. Virtually everything. Discord live room schedule and useful links. Yeah. Done that. Room schedule. I cannot see anything. Assume you post the schedule of when you're live. There's a link in that live room schedule to someone's posted in the live room questions now. It works. Yeah. Here we go. Nice selection of John gifts. I know. There's loads. I'm going to be totally John Wicked in there. Afternoon, Mumo, David. Had to do too much drawdown control. What about micro futures? Yeah, you can trade micro futures. You just can't hold overnight. I'm not a scalper. I am a scalper on certain things, but I'm not. Futures is for scalpers. If you want a long-term hold on futures, it's cost you an absolute fortune. The cost of holding a single contract overnight on futures is around about $3,000 to $5,000. Yeah. So unless you've got a 15 to 20k account, you're not going to be able to hold anything overnight anyway, because the overnight will just be closed down. You're buying a barrel of oil. So it's not, well, it's not for me. Anyway, you trade what you like. At the end of the day, stuff does the same thing. If you look at a chart on a few, if you go and look at the CFD here, or the NASDAQ, or the Dow, or the S&P, and go look at the futures chart, it's the same. It's exactly the same, except I can only trade in one direction on futures. If I go long on a break and I want to hedge it short, I can't. Can't do it because it's first in, first out. So it's just not as flexible, and it's a lot more difficult to control risk because you're in single contracts. Even if you're trading micros, you're trading single micro contracts, which have a $2.50 monetary value attached to them. So you can only trade in $2.50 increments, which isn't great for a risk perspective. But when you trade so much pairs at the same time, you need more money in your account. Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. It depends on your risk, doesn't it? Risk is relevant to your account size. So if you trade 0.5% risk on a trade, that lot size is relevant to your account, isn't it? So if you've got $100 or $100,000, 0.5 risk is 0.5 risk. Doesn't matter how many pairs you trade, does it? It doesn't affect it. Yeah, so if you look at futures, show me the CME. So these are the costs, yeah. Oh, no, that's options. Oh, why is it so hard to find? There we go. That must be it, isn't it? Oh my God. Why is it so hard? I don't know what the exact values are, but a single contract in the S&P, I think, is $670 or something to hold it overnight. So you need to have, if you've got 5 contract position size on, you need to have somewhere in the region of $2.5 grand in your account just to have the position on. Forget about drawdown and all that sort of stuff. These are just fees. But there is an overnight amount that you get charged. I don't know what it is, but take it from me, it ain't worth doing. It's just not worth it. You need 50k. Silly money. Right, let's have a look at FX. Market's going to open. Oh, market's open. There we go. So short on the NASDAQ. No trade on the... Bloody hell, look at the Dow. So the Dow... total whips on the Dow. Look at the state of that. So no trade on the Dow. Initial pre-market range was too small. And the reason we don't take tiny little pre-market ranges is because the initial cash balance will probably hedge you. So didn't take it. But might take that, although that looks way too big. Way too big. Yeah, I won't be trading the Dow today. Nowhere. That's so 20% of ADR is 64. That's 119. So that's about 40% of its average daily range. Look at that. Look at the size of that candle. $134. ADR is 322. So we'll see how we get on with the S&P and the NASDAQ, but that thing's Dow is collapsing very fast. We haven't had any earnings, have we? This morning? No. Palo Alto and Teladoc were after markets. NASDAQ. Don't know. It's just collapsed. Big push down there. So we'll have a look at that in a minute. So RSIs today. We had a couple of RSI extensions to the 70-30 level this morning. Not a lot else really this morning. New Zealand dollar pairs have been the main movers over the last couple of days. So New Zealand dollar CAD, your 4-hour RSI extension is still there. So that's a nice looking short. As you can see, I'm already short on that one. I'm just looking for a push down back to retest this accumulation break there, of which you would find on a volume profile something along the lines of that. So yeah, looking for a breakdown to propulsion. So I'm looking for actually a retest of the break, which is that propulsion gap after that volume node. So yeah, that's the short on that one, New Zealand CAD. We've had a few others. Aussie New Zealand is the other big extension on the 4-hour. We looked at this one this morning, and I said it's not extended enough for me to get in on H1M5 yet. If you look at it on the 4-hour chart, if this thing can get itself down to test this weekly and previous week's low. So the low of last week is where we opened. The low of the previous week is just before that. So this is an area, it's just one support area basically we pushed away from. As you can see, it's trending down at the moment. So it's either going to try and break, or it's going to try and break that low, obviously, because we're in a downtrend. But chances are after a drop that fast and that hard, it's going to find it hard to get through that level because there's going to be buyers there. So looking for a bounce out of that, and then it can continue down. So we're looking for the 24.72 rebound basically. So put in a lower, yeah, just lower highs. So looking for a lower high to go in. So I'm going to play it up into there. If it gets there though, so there is an extension there that you can take. You can see I took the last one on this, which is that trade we just looked at. Look there. So I'll be looking to get that move on there. The EA will obviously just get me in if it gets extended, but it's going to have to push down quite hard. I don't think I'm going to get into it, to be honest, but there is an extension there. Obviously on that one, there's no RSIs to look at there. Nothing banked today. I banked 1.85% yesterday. All of my drawdown, well, I say all of it, but 8.5%, 9% of my drawdown is yen. Is still this yen. So we are in a symmetrical triangle formation at the moment. So we are contracting, ready for that breakout. And that breakout may well come on FOMC. If that breakout goes north, though, be prepared for the Japanese to hammer that back down tomorrow. If the break goes south, we might well get a drop. But I'm not sure we're going to get a huge amount of movement off FOMC. It's more likely going to be sort of whipsaw price action. So we'll see. But yeah, I was just in the ends at the minute. I've just done some drawdown control on it yesterday with that bank. I was waiting for it to see what it was going to do today, but it hasn't done anything. So just sitting there waiting on the rest of it. A few new positions gone on. New Zealand dollar Swiss, H1M5. So H1 RSI extension was yesterday. 5-minute reversal alert was in there yesterday. So short on that, looking for a test to that level there. Just before that propulsion gap. New Zealand dollar CAD, short, first position on. Just covered that one. Looking for a breakdown into there off of that H1M5 mean reversion. Pound New Zealand. First entry taken yesterday. H1 extension there. We did get a nice push up. I was tempted to take this off yesterday. It was a tiny little amount of money. It was good, like 0.12% or something ridiculous. But I just had a feeling this wasn't going to get anywhere, and it proved me right today because that New Zealand dollar is so strong at the moment. There's no strength in the pound at all. So I'm not looking for a lot out of this, really. I've got my target all the way back up there on the off chance that tomorrow we get really strong PMI figures, which gives the pound a kick and we get a decent move up. We've got we got New Zealand retail coming up, but there's no other Aussie or New Zealand news coming up this week. So the next New Zealand we've got is going to be the rate next week, and they're buying into this rate because the Bank of New Zealand said that there is still room for them to increase interest rates. I don't think they're going to do it. But next Wednesday, we've got the inflation figures for the Australian dollar, followed half an hour later by the New Zealand rate, followed by the press conference. So next Wednesday, the Australasian pairs are going to go nuts. And I was just toying with the idea of not getting into as much New Zealand and Aussie ahead of that next week. I wish I had, but I didn't take it off. So one long there. Pound CAD. That is the shorts off of the Canadian dollar straight into resistance. H1 entry yesterday. Haven't put a target on that one. I'll do. So just targeting those highs. Euro CAD also yesterday. So same thing, just looking for a return to origin move. And if it doesn't happen, it carries on that Canadian dollar weakness, then so be it. Tomorrow, we've got all the Euro PMIs. Tomorrow morning, we've got the French, the German, and obviously the pound. But the French and the German tomorrow, 8:15, 8:30. So we'll know what the Eurozone PMIs are tomorrow. And that will either pump or dump the Euro. So that either goes to profit or goes into a position to add to. And that's pretty much it. CAD-Yen. This thing. So this is the thing about this yen at the moment. And this is, I say don't carry on trading stuff that you're making losses on. But at the moment, the yen it's almost cost prohibitively expensive to trade it. Look at the average price of my position here and look at where price is. Look at my profit. Yeah, I'm at break even, although I am that far in profit on the move because of the swaps. So this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 day position sideways, not going anywhere. But the swaps on this thing are costing me an absolute fortune. So on the CAD yen at the moment, I've paid $55 in swaps just to hold the position for a week. It's ridiculous. It's so expensive to trade the yen at the moment. On this one, I'm looking for a push down. I'm not really got a problem with any of these yens because, especially the CAD yen, because the CAD's weak. But it's just costing a lot of money to hold it. So I would almost turn around and say I'm not going to bother trading the yen at the moment until the interest rates are sorted themselves out. However, if they press the button on that intervention move, I'm going to make an absolute fortune. So I'm holding them. So those are your RSIs. The only ADR we got today is New Zealand yen. So that was straight in, straight out this morning. If you got it, we looked at this in the live room. So went straight up, hit ADR, bounced. We've had an 1 hour reversal alert. We've also had the M5. So that was your entry and that was your exit. So you're looking for roughly half an ADR move, which is 31 pips. You got 23 out of it. So it's not actually amazing from a profit perspective, but yeah, probably hasn't hit target yet, to be honest. So yeah, that was the only extension, and we've got those weeklies there. So there's nothing much else to look at there. I banked some this morning. I did some drawdown control yesterday on the Euro Swiss. So this was an aggressive drawdown control position that failed. So stopped out on that one. I have got the aggressive drawdown control back on here, which is holding at the moment. So looking for that push down. I'm waiting for this Swiss franc to power up, and today it looks like it is as well. So I have got an aggressive drawdown control position on this one again. I'm just looking for a push down tomorrow off the euro. So I'm hoping the euro PMI figures are all negatives tomorrow. But this morning, I did cover in the live room this morning what I banked Euro US, which was a quick in and out there. So that was your H1, that was your ADR hit yesterday. So out of that, not a lot of profit, but just wanted to get something in the bank. Euro CAD banked as well. I banked all these this morning in the live room. So yeah, Euro CAD was the bank yesterday. on the push on the Canadian dollar because we'd sat in that for pretty much 3 weeks waiting for a move. There was your move. So now I'm short because we got an ADR extension to the upside. So I'm looking for a pullback down into the origin of that move. US dollar Swiss, closed that out. So again, that was just one position. So this was this position I closed out. Got 3 positions on it. That was the 4th. It was in too much profit to not take it. I was worried about this. I covered this again in the live room this morning. This area here, so this was the propulsion move. We added into the propulsion move, created a new propulsion move. We came back, we tested that, bought it. I got out just in case we bought it again, which we did. However, it hasn't rallied. So we are holding in a really, really tight range, and we're waiting basically for some news. So up or down. And pound US dollar, close that one out as well. Straight in, straight out. So there's your ADR extension and exit. Nice and easy. So banked 0.5% today. Up 13.3 on the month and waiting. There's nothing in drawdown of any worry apart from the Euro Swiss. And that one is the one that I'm doing aggressive drawdown control on at the moment. So everything else is just ticking along. Noticed Aussie Swiss as well. So that's that account. And hedging, basically banked 3% yesterday. Not banked anything today yet. Yeah, not banked anything yet today. This will be the first day I haven't banked on this account since I started it. So I don't want to bank something. Is there anything to bank? US dollar Swiss, isn't it, really? Much to bank there at the moment. So, yeah, US dollar Swiss. Not going to bank anything on that today either. So, going to have a duck day today on that one. Yeah. Short S&P. It's not going anywhere, is it? Indices are stuck. There we go. So there's not much else to look at there. Forex sucks in the States. It's good where you live. Yeah. You can always get an overseas broker. Is it right when the Dow goes down, the US dollar Forex pair strengthens? Yeah, so basically, normally when the dollar rallies, the stock indexes drop and vice versa. And it will usually be all indices together. It's not always the case, though. You can't. It's more of it's more something that you notice than something you can actually physically use to trade, basically. So obviously, all these are priced in US dollars. Yeah. So when you liquidate stock, i.e., you sell stock prices drop because stocks are being sold. That money is liquidated into US dollar. So that money will be placed in a US dollar holding account, usually, which rallies the US dollar. When people are buying stocks, they are using their US dollars to purchase stocks. Therefore, the M2 money supply of the US dollar will drop, and that money will be taken out of Forex investments to place into the stock market. So there's a correlation in that respect, but it doesn't always work that way. This is driven by stock earnings and news, basically. So if Tesla suddenly go, do you know what? We got a new car. It's going to be half the price of the Model 3, and it's going to go 3 times as far and twice as fast. What do you think is going to happen to the Tesla stock price? The US dollar is probably not going to move. but Tesla's stock price will, and the NASDAQ will fly through the roof. Yeah, so it's not correlated 100% in that respect, but it typically does. Same with the euro. When the euro rallies, the DAX drops. When the DAX rallies, the euro drops. When the FTSE rallies, the pound drops, and vice versa, because the stock indexes are in a currency. Amazon to place Walgreens in Dow Jones Industrial Average, are they? Good for them. I don't care who's in it, as long as it moves up and down. How has your aggressive account with the EA been going? Oh, it hasn't. I've given up. Yeah, I'm not really doing much with it, to be honest. Just shut that test down. I got margin called on it yesterday again. So I've decided what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this account up on I think what I might do with it, probably not a good idea, but anyway, what I might do is set it up on M15 M1. So it'll be trading M15 M1 mean reversion. And just get it to live test the new position trading EA, basically. So I'm going to use it to test that strategy out, I think. Just to test live functionality, because I need to be able to test live functionality, which is the next stage, basically, because it's all finished now, the EA, but I just need to make sure it's doing what it's doing. So I'm going to do that. But yeah, that didn't work because I kept getting margin called. The strategies worked fine, but I keep getting margin called. I'm totally expecting to get into drawdown, but they're shutting me out when I'm in 30% of drawdown. That's no use. I've got 1 to 300 leverage. So, yeah. Anyway, there's only play money. And the video earnings tonight, yeah. I did ask about the PTEA this morning, but was wondering, did you have a release date? No. Not yet. I need to forward test it. So I've got more back testing to do. I need to do, well, basically what I need to do, it's finished. There's a couple of little bits I just need to do visually on it. But it's finished as I want it to be. So I've readjusted all the inputs now to make it even easier. I've made it even easier than the easiness I made it before, in the fact that we've got 3 inputs at the top, which you can basically use to say, do I want to do DD control? Do I want to do aggressive drawdown control? Do I want to use manual or automated trading? If I want to use automated trading, do I want to trade RSI or ADR? Everything below that line, you could, in theory, leave and just use those 5 inputs. And it will do what it does, what I do in here every day. It's set up to do what I do in the way that I do it. So I need to back test it properly now and make sure that I can't break it. So I need to basically, the next step of any development is to back, well, what I do, 90% of the crap you buy on MQL5, they won't do any of this, but what I do is I will run a system parameter permutation test live in the strategy tester, me watching it with every single possible combination of every input. Yeah, and it will take me days, but it means that there is nothing that you can do in inputs in here to break this, in theory. Yeah, because you've got to have a product that's robust. You're going to get idiots coming in here and going, I'm going to put 25 in there. That's not a good thing to do. But what happens if you do put 25 in there? I need to build logic in to stop you being an idiot, basically. So I need to idiot-proof it, kind of. But once I've done that, which will take a couple of days, it goes onto a live account and it starts trading. And then I will just go in and I will go, I can't do that because I got the wrong sizing, but press the buttons, make sure it works, make sure the stop losses are removed, all that sort of stuff. I don't want to do that on the hourly chart, do I? But yeah, so just make sure stuff's working. that's pretty much it, really. Which it is. And then it's ready. But I want to do some decent back testing on it as well, because it's so fast to back test. It's beautiful. Compared to the market reversal alerts EA, this thing is a laser beam, basically. It's just so quick. So it takes around about 6 seconds per day on 5-minute charts. This is trading M15. Oh, I was trading on the wrong time frame. I wonder why it wasn't doing what I wanted it to do. Yeah, okay. Idiot. I was just doing a back test before I came on. I was like, why is that taking so long to go through a day? Because it was viewing a week. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, about 7 seconds a day. Yeah, market reversal alerts EA, as a comparison, will be around about 2 minutes a day. Yeah, so speed of testing. I went through a 350 system parameter permutation test yesterday in 4 hours. 350 different system parameter permutation tests over an entire year on the M5 time frame in less than a day. It's still not quick compared to some stuff, but compared to the market reversal alerts EA, this is going to open up a can of worms for backtesting purposes over long periods of time and robustness testing, more importantly. I haven't actually tried it on control points yet, but if you put it on control points, I'd imagine it'll go like a steam train. Whew. How accurate that is, although I don't know. That may not be particularly accurate. I'd need to do a test on this to see what the accuracy is like on control points, because this is using 1 minute charts for low level data. So it is accurate. It's quite nice, isn't it? That's a year. That's a year. Oh, he's in a position. Yeah, so the EA is closed. The reason that hasn't done that is because the EA is closed at that date in drawdown. Hasn't been able to recover that drawdown. But yeah, it's good. Fast. We like fast. You take devil profit on the euro US dollar 66.66. Did I? Not good, is it? That's why I got the horns. Must have been on a different account. On that one. No. I didn't see that. Anyway, 6666, not 666. Is the daily RSI the most reliable? Nope. The RSI is just the RSI. There isn't one that's more reliable than another. Markets are fractal. Yeah. So what you see on one chart, I can show you a chart. If I scribbled this out here and said, this is the Aussie dollar Swiss, right? Which time frame are we looking at now? You can tell which time frame it is because of the other indicators, but that could be any time frame, couldn't it? It's M5, obviously, but RSI gets extended on all time frames. Yeah, so H4 gets extended below the 20 level. daily gets extended below the 20 level. 15 will get extended below the 20 level. RSI is RSI. There's no time frame that is better than another time frame. Signals will be more reliable on certain time frames in the fact that you're going to get less algorithmic chop. So, if you want to trade daily RSI, trade daily RSI. Just be aware that obviously if you're trading daily RSI, it's going to take a hell of a long time for your trades to play out. So if I'm waiting for something to move down 12 candles to make a profit, you're going to be waiting 12 days. I'll be waiting 12 hours. Or if I'm trading 1 minute charts, I'll be waiting 12 minutes. Only play money. How are you going to afford all your fish and chips? I know. I don't eat fish and chips very often. Every now and again. Haven't been able to trade all month waiting for my funds to come out of IC markets. Why are you waiting for your funds all month? Something's obviously gone wrong there. IC markets don't normally muck about with payments, but maybe there's hoops you haven't jumped through or something that they need. If you had a halo instead of horns on your chair, then you may go into less drawdown. Yeah, I'd like that. That'd be good. May you analyze euro pound, euro yen even. Pushing up again at the moment. Is that the yen? No, that's the euro. So the euro's rallying into the PMIs. Not against the CAD. CAD looks like that's rallying hard today. Yeah, Canadian dollar's rallying. Euro yen at the moment, the euro is pushing up. But like all the yen pairs, basically we're waiting for some movement on the yen. So, what can you say about this? It's been grinding up for 2 weeks, not going anywhere. Oh, Euro Swiss you want to look at? Sorry. You changed your mind after you typed it. Euro Swiss. I'm not in the Euro Swiss at the moment. I think I might be in an ADR on it. Yes, the Euro Swiss I'm in. So this is the one that I'm doing aggressive drawdown control on at the moment. So looking for a pushback into this propulsion gap. The euro, we're waiting for some Swiss franc strength. If you look at all the Swiss franc pairs, they're all the same. Yeah, we've had a very, very weak Swiss franc. So that's Aussie Swiss, CAD Swiss, Euro Swiss, Pound Swiss, New Zealand Swiss. They're all the same. We've had a very weak Swiss franc for weeks now. The Swiss franc is basically a safe haven currency, and it has very low interest rates, very low inflation, very low unemployment, very stable economy. So you don't really tend to find a lot of money pushing into or pulling out of the Swiss franc unless there's something going on. So it's used as a sort of a bucket when things go wrong. So if there's a world war kicking off or any kind of conflict kicking off, the Swiss franc will rally like crazy because people will liquidate risky investments in other Forex pairs, in stock markets, in commodities, and liquidate it into the Swiss franc. So at the moment, the Swissy are looking like they will reduce their interest rates quicker than anticipated, which is weakening the Swiss franc, which means everything will rally against it. But we're waiting for some Swiss franc strength. It's also very, very well known for doing moves like this. Can't really see it on that one. Let's look at the Swiss there. 4-hour chart's probably better. Like that. Basically, you just get all of a sudden the Swissy will just take off and there'll be a load of investment into the Swiss franc and it will just rally like crazy for a week. That's what we're waiting for, yeah? Push, pull. Yeah, push, pull. Push, pull. We're just waiting for the pullback. It's very orderly, the Swissy. It doesn't stay weak for long. So there will be a big push on it at some point. We're just waiting. So hence me getting a little aggressive on it, because I've got 5 positions on. And it looks to me after this move like we are probably going to start to pull back on this entire leg. I'm only looking for literally 1.5 ADR to get out. So it's not in massive drawdown, but that's because I've got an aggressive drawdown control position on. So yeah, just waiting for it to push back down again. Basically, this break we had there has today failed. So the question is this reversal that we've just had put in going to retest and drop and we're going to get the M pattern reversal, or is this just a pullback on this leg? Tomorrow we will find out, because when the PMIs come out on the euro, that will either be bullish or bearish, and that will decide which way this goes. If the PMI figures are negative, we'll be down here. If they're positive, we'll be up there. Nothing I can do. So we'll see what happens with the Euro Swiss. But that is the main thing that's in drawdown at the moment. It's nowhere near the weekly levels because it hasn't gone anywhere, has it? This is the trouble. Nothing's gone anywhere. Taking the absolute piss 3-week process. 3 weeks to get your money out of IC. I have traded with them, but probably 10 years ago. I've never had, touch wood, I've never had a trouble with any broker I've ever been with. One of the biggest concerns I had when I started trading was, where shall I put my money? Which broker shall I use? This is when I started using decent amounts of money, what I call decent amounts of money. Because you just read horror stories everywhere on Forex Peace Army, Forex Factory, and all these places about people having problems with brokers and getting their money out of brokers. So I went with the big brokers and I've never had a problem. But I've always made sure that I've gone through every step of verification with that broker when I sign up. The passport, the driving license, the bank details, every piece of verification they ask for. Because when you want to withdraw, the money laundering rules mean they have to have all those verifications in place. So if there's something missing there, that might be what the problem is. And it's just a case of jumping through the hoops to get it done. But I've never had an issue. Axie, I've withdrawn, and RoboForex, I've withdrawn from them at the press of a button, and it's 3 days maximum, and it's in my bank. Also, it depends how you deposit as well. And I have found, I say that's not strictly true, never had a problem. Money from a credit card into the account, built the account, and then tried to withdraw the money into a bank. Because I was withdrawing money into a different location and it was higher than the amount I deposited, they had to do all sorts of checks and validations that I wasn't doing money laundering. And that took a while to get my money out. So I ended up drawing I think it was $5,000, I think it was, out of the account back onto the credit card. The rest of it, I couldn't draw onto the credit card because you can't withdraw more than you can deposit. So you have to withdraw that to another means. They then have to verify that that is really your bank account that they're putting the money into. So there was extra steps. I think that wasn't with Alpari. That was with someone else. Can't even remember who it was. But I always find if you deposit from a bank account, you will always get it out into the bank account because there's no limits. Hedged on the indices. If you ate fish and chips, then you may go into less drawdown. Possibly. You've seen a little bit of drawdown obsessed, AJ. Euro Swiss on 4-hour zoom out. Weren't we at significant resistance? We're approaching it. So if that doesn't hold, then we'll be up here somewhere, but potentially. With these moving averages, when you see the 24 and the 72 and how the market reacts with the 24 and the 72 dailies, yeah. When you're in a trend, we use the 24 as an initial bounce point, and then we will carry on using the 24 typically, which is causing normal market structure pullbacks, profit takes, pushes, profit takes, pushes. When we start to fail, we then come up and test the 72 and move down, and then obviously the market structure changes to higher lows and higher highs. What you find is when you break back above that 72, you then tend to pull back into the 24 a lot of the time. If it's gonna be nice, what we're used to before COVID market structure, which isn't as much anymore, but that tends to be what it will do. So it may well come up and retest that and then drop down from there, but it might just drop down from there on its way to coming up to retest that, and then we might get a range. There's all sorts of stuff. Nobody knows what's going to happen, do they? But yeah, it is coming up to a resistance. Whether or not it gets there, we'll wait and see. But very nice, strong reversal alert today. So be looking for a retest of that. Hopefully, drop back down. Yeah, I had a problem to pull the money out from IC markets. Took 3 weeks. US 30 is back to open. Yeah, they all moved. They've all reversed. So with these hedges, have a look at the NAS. So NAS upside, I'm just going to go with that area there to the upside. So that's not yesterday's high, because yesterday's high is there. I mean, it might well get a reaction out of that, but that's only about 3R to the upside. So I would go with that area there as a resistance to the upside. It's miles within ADR, but it's not really moving far today. Downside on the NASDAQ's a lot more difficult today. I'm just going to leave it at ADR. So see if we get a flush down to ADR. Anywhere down here from kind of about 110 ADR down to 175 ADR, anything down there could cause a reaction. So I'm just going to go with ADR and just see if we can get a move out of that. Good today, is it? S&P. Mess, isn't it? I'm just going to leave it as it is at 5R. See if we can get a rally going in one direction or the other. But I don't think we're going to get much movement today. It's going to be a rotation day because of FOMC. They're not going to want to do an awful lot until we get that news. And obviously we've got a video we're waiting for this evening as well. So I'm just going to leave it at 5R and see if we can get a pull or a push. Robo, though, do my head in when withdrawing, goes to Wise card in the US dollar. Robo charges a fee. Then I have to convert fee on Wise from the US dollar to the pound. I don't know. There's always a headache everywhere. Have you seen the price of fish and chips? No. Why do you just want me to say fish and chips all the time, don't you? That's basically why you're saying that. I don't know how much fish and chips cost. And I don't care. Right, I'm going to leave it there today. We've got nothing else to discuss. I'm going to go and get the VPS set up for this account and get that all up and running. It's only $1,000. That's a problem, isn't it? That is a problem because it's only going to be able to take 0.01 lot sizes. Yeah, I might have to think about that. I might have to run that on a demo with more capital in it because it's not going to be. It's not going to give me. Not going to be able to do partial drawdown and stuff like that. So I'll have to think about that one. Bollocks, so you're leaving to get fish and chips? Yes. Is the FX Blue portfolio uploading when trade is closed or order placed, or is it random? I have no idea. Don't know. FXBL. I don't know when it updates. That was 58 minutes ago. I don't know. I've no idea how it updates. It's got just investor password access, so I don't know what the logic is when it updates. But it looks like it looks quite random, doesn't it? Yeah, there doesn't seem to be any logic to it. Maybe it's every hour or something. I don't know. Don't know how it works. I've not. I'm using it for analysis purposes, basically, so that I can delve into the portfolio. So I don't know when it updates. It's not a signal service, so I wouldn't imagine it's live. It's probably updated every hour, maybe. I don't know. Not like an NQ. Daily TP hit done. Good job. Right. I'm leaving it there. I'll be back this afternoon. No, I won't. It's not the morning. I'll be back tomorrow at 8 o'clock. So live room tomorrow is going to be 8 a.m. for the European session and 2:30 instead of 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon for the US so that we can watch the PMI unfold. So you need to be aware, obviously, of what's going on tomorrow morning. So any euro pairs you've got on or pound pairs that have got decent profit, you may want to either protect that profit or bank that profit before the news events because you can't get it back if it goes against you. And if it goes your way, so be it. But you can't get it back if it goes against you. So protect your capital. Pound, we've got obviously at 9:30. So those, if you're not here for the morning session, make sure before you go to bed, you deal with those. And then tomorrow afternoon, we've got unemployment claims at 1:30 along with retail. But I'm anticipating the biggest move being on the PMIs. So we're going to watch that unfold and see where that takes us. We've got another bank holiday coming up in Japan on Friday. So I'm hoping that the US does not try to take advantage of that. The Bank of Japan will execute their interventions regardless of whether it's a bank holiday or not. So I'm hoping that we don't get any undue volatility. We have in the past, I've noticed in the past many times, when we got a bank holiday in Japan, the US drive the yen into the floor. With what's going on at the moment, with all the US dollar yen and the Japanese saying, do not push us or we will push you back, I'm hoping they don't do something stupid, specifically because I've got obviously drawdown on these and I don't really want to do any more drawdown control. But anyway, from a personal perspective, that would be lovely. But we'll see. So Friday, we just need to be aware of that. Friday, I'm just doing normal morning and afternoon at 8 and 2. All right. So if you are in the Discord server now, go into all of every single group channel has got a post in it. Oh, no, it hasn't. No, they haven't all, but just make sure you can go in to all the channels, basically. I will double check all the settings, but for some reason, some of them don't seem to be set up right. So I will, yeah, let me know if there's anything wrong and I'll try and fix it. But I'm learning on the job with Discord, so we'll see what happens. All right, so have a good afternoon. Good luck with the indices. But obviously, these, I suspect I'll still be in them when FOMC comes. So when FOMC is released, you may well get a massive spike. That may well be where we get out. So I'll be watching these closely around FOMC this evening, if I'm still in them, just to see if there's an exit opportunity. But I'm just going to leave the targets at 5R and we'll see what happens. All right. So have a good one. Anything you need, let me know. I will be in Telegram and Discord. Other than that, I will be back tomorrow and I will see you guys then. Have a good one.